How happy am I right now? Yeah, pretty happy. Thanks for asking. It looks like Erik ten Hag is about to be anointed, appointed, announced. And you can probably just start the clock ticking on when he gets fucked off because the Glazers still aren't going to change. But allow us this moment of happiness, at least. A football appointment. Following on from the football appointment of Ralph Rangnick, it looks like Manchester United have done the right thing and not appointed that fucking serial loser in Pochettino, but it looks like we are going to appoint Erik ten Hag. I'm on my 5th wank already. And on top of that, as if you couldn't get any more erect, they're talking about bringing Rene Meulensteen in. Now, I heard this over the weekend, and it is my understanding that someone has been in touch with Rene about that. I know from speaking to Rene, not recently, about this. Here's the truth. I'm too scared to ring him. I am just too scared to ring him because I don't want to be lied to. And I think with something this confidential, he just plain and simple can't tell you the truth of what's going on. So I would rather wait until it's announced and send him a message and just say, listen, good luck. Someone in the comments says, Rene Meulensteen, another job for the lads. Wow. Right. A few years ago, me and Jay did an interview with Rene. And honestly, it's like a masterclass. In fact, I mean, there is literally a masterclass. This here. Literally Rene's masterclass. It's one of the most thumbed books I've got. It's fucking sensational. Rene being appointed is not a job for the boys. Rene is one of the best technical coaches in world football. Is he a great manager? Evidence suggests not. Is he a great coach? Evidence suggests one of the best, in all honesty. And him coming in with Ten Hag. Now, we heard about this a couple of weeks ago, and I think we discovered it or discussed it at first on XG Files, where there was sort of a bit of a rumour coming out that Ten Hag, if appointed, wanted someone that was Dutch, I guess as a bit of a common sort of background with himself, but also someone that was embedded at United. And we looked at, could it be Jordi Cruyff as a bit of an out there one? Could it be Ruud van Nistelrooy? And PSV moved very quickly to sort of appoint Ruud van Nistelrooy as head coach. Maybe there was something in it, maybe there wasn't. Robin van Persie has been linked and increasingly linked as well. I think there's a chance that you might see both of them guys coming. Rene Meullensteen's name was thrown into the mix. I don't know if I threw it in first or if everyone else had sort of done what I'd done and just 2 + 2 = 4. And then you looked at some of the other former players like Jaap Stam, and there was opportunities there for someone of a Dutch and ex-United connection that Erik wanted. And here's the important thing. This is a Erik ten Hag desire, not someone from the club has said you need to have X, Y, and Z within your coaching setup. Erik ten Hag's gone, I'd like someone that knows United, but maybe someone that I can work with. Ideally, someone Dutch. There we go. Looks like Erik ten Hag has decided that Rene Meulensteen wouldn't be a bad appointment. And I'm going to be honest, I can't disagree. I'm going to pull out you some quotes from Rene himself, and I'll recap what all the news is and where all this is coming from. So, Rob Dawson, ESPN, Mark Ogden, breaking, MUFC are set to finalise the appointment of Ten Hag as the club's new manager. Mark Ogden and Rob Dawson, Rene Meulensteen is a candidate being considered as Ten Hag's assistant. Simon Stone said it's felt Ten Hag would be a better fit for the structure in place at MUFC instead of Pochettino. Jay Burt from The Telegraph says MUFC are closing in on the appointment of Ten Hag. Deal is not yet agreed, but things are now moving fast. Hurst Class has said United are edging closer to the appointment of Ten Hag as a new manager after further high-level talks with United officials. It's now understood that the parties are working on the final details of a deal. Love that shit. Hurst Class also said Ten Hag not yet given his final word to MUFC, but they are hopeful that he will agree to be the next manager. And he's also said United Ten Hag moved ahead of Pochettino after impressive interviews and expected that he will become the full-time successor to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And also, according to sources close to negotiation, there is not expected to be any problems now in hiring Ten Hag, who has been told that he can leave Ajax. MUFC did not interview Luis Enrique, and Ajax expect Ten Hag to become United's next manager, and that's from the formerly great local newspaper, now disreputable online blog. A couple of quotes from Rene. He said, I was part of the club for 12 years in all possible roles. I know the values and what makes the club tick. They have lost that identity in recent years. He also said, everyone's talking about Pochettino. This is in 2019, and it's a very, very long thread. I'll retweet it, actually, because it's fucking mint. I couldn't have said it better myself. I genuinely couldn't have said it better myself. Let me just find it. Let me just pull this up for you. So this is an entire thread from the Red Cafe message board back in 2019. It was talking to a newspaper prior to the game against Paris Saint-Germain. This is on the 15th of Feb. And he says, everyone's talking about Pochettino, and believe me, I'm a big fan of Pochettino. He's a brilliant manager who has done a wonderful job at Tottenham, but he knows nothing about United. Ollie's lived United, he's experienced it on a daily basis. You can't learn that on a coaching course. There's so many who have failed because they don't understand how big the club is. It's not a problem for Ollie because he's been a part of it. Talking about Moyes, he said it was hard and it came as a surprise. We were first told that Moyes would keep the same staff, wasn't worried. I thought he was smart enough to use our experience to help him understand the club. And then he goes off a little bit onto the Moyes thing. But, yeah, class. Absolutely class. Zachary Purvis with a super chat there. Thank you very much. Says, haven't been as excited since Ollie. Am I going to do a youth review? Also, why isn't Hannibal broken yet? I have been doing a couple of little bits on the youth review. I'll probably do a big preview ahead of the FA Youth Cup final. In fact, we're already planning to do that ahead of the FA Youth Cup final. So don't worry about that. We're definitely going to be doing it. Siggy Johnson says, no yesterday's staff for tomorrow's team. On that, because there's a lot of that, you need to know your history of this football club, because that's been the way it's been done at this football club forever. There's always been ex-players involved, always. Sir Alex Ferguson brought in Mike Phelan. Don't know if you remember, he was an ex-player. Prior to that, he had Nobby Stiles and Brian Kidd working for him. Ex-players. Paul McGuinness, who was a massive under-18s coach that we had, he was an ex-Manchester United player. Loads of these guys, ex-players. Oh, Richarlison scored again. I was kind of hoping Everton are on right now in a relegation 6-pointer with Burnley. I was kind of hoping Everton would fuck it up and go down, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Liam says, the problem was under Fergie, Rene was first-team coach, which is a role Moyes was going to be doing, so it made sense to him to move on at the time. I can't necessarily agree with that, to be honest. I do think that there was other things going on and he wanted to bring his own in. I still believe Moyes was a little bit more in the mould of Fergie, where your assistants are running training. And I actually think Ten Hag is like that as well, where, is not like that. I think he actually runs quite a lot of the training himself from what I've seen. But as he was sort of alluding to, there's other things about the size of this football club that you can't really get to. So talking about Sir Alex, here's some quotes, other quotes from Pochettino. He said, Sir Alex grabbed him and said, I'd like to have a quick chat to you, just so we're on the same page in regards to what we want to see from United. And he goes, if I close my eyes and picture the best Manchester United, this is what I want to see. And he pulls out 3 white sheets on a big pad. And he goes, I want to be able to press from the front. Other times I want us to be more compact in a block, maybe press from there. And other times I want to defend really well. Want to be able to be narrow and compact and be able to spring out and counter. That was the defensive sort of, literally the detail he went into on the defence. Then he talked about possession. He goes, possession's important. It's important that we get control of the ball as quickly as possible, because from then, it's probably the most important element of possession, and that's rhythm. We can build up from the back, we can break lines, we can get into an area where we're more compact, but we need to be able to change our rhythm from 1 touch and 2 touch as we look for a way through. Unpredictability is the hardest thing to defend against, and you can create that through 1-touch combination play, movement, and creating 1v1s or 2v1s. We always have a purpose and intent when we're in possession. We always want to get forward, break lines, create chances and score goals. And then he came to the last one. He said, look, this is the most important page. It revolves around these things. We want to be able to attack with pace, power, penetration, and unpredictability. Those 4 things. That was it. And he said, if this doesn't work, we gamble. And he said basically the things on those 3 sheets: defending principles, what to do in possession, and our attacking principles. He goes, I want you to train these so the players every mind every single day, whether it's a finishing session, conditioning session. Those 3 sheets are the framework for how this football club wants to play. And I think that's exactly what this football club needs to get back to: basic principles of play, the Manchester United way. In terms of the recruitment, obviously we did a video earlier, and we'll be doing loads of videos looking at potential recruits. I think there's so many areas that United can improve on. I'll be doing as many scouting videos as it takes for players that we like the look of, and vice versa. But United can literally just go out and just shop in relegation markets and bring people in. Bill O'Reilly says, I want to win, I want to challenge, but most of all, I want to have an aggressive, dynamic, and positive style of play. Just don't want another Frank de Boer. I think it's unfair to label another Frank de Boer. Is it be unfair to just say any other ex-player is not going to be good? I really don't think so. I think there's more to it than that. I've seen Fletcher and Murta getting all sorts of stick. I was talking about this on Twitter earlier on, and people are like, they're obviously out of their depth. Like, where's your evidence for that? That we don't know what they do. I'm trying to find out, but there's 0 evidence that they're doing a bad job, and there's also 0 evidence they're doing a good job. There's no evidence of the job that they're doing. How can anyone say they're out of their depth? If they've had a massive say in bringing Erik ten Hag and potentially Rene Meulensteen back to the club, can we honestly, we're all excited about it, can we honestly say they're doing a bad job? I'm not sure we can. Mankey says, I'm reluctant to get carried away by these seem to be solid appointments. Remember, if he gets peanuts for a summer transfer budget. I agree on that one as well. I actually think that, again, for me, the recruitment, anyone who's watched me for a long time will know recruitment is the most important thing. Someone tweeted me yesterday, thank you for whoever that was, I didn't catch the name. And we were talking about how Klopp was able to transform the starting 11. It's not always about the amount of money that is spent. It's about the freedom to bring in the players that you need to bring in. Manchester City, when they first were took over by Sheikh Mansour, in the first 3 windows brought in 23 players. That's how you overhaul a team. They also spent a lot of money doing that, those first 3 windows. They went fucking mental. And they had some success and they had some failures. The likes of Vincent Kompany was a massive success. The likes of fucking Robinho and Joe and all them lot, massive failure. But they were allowed to make those failures because they were just fucking constantly putting it on send. Liverpool, I think what they've done is a little bit more impressive because they've done it on a bit more of a budget. But Klopp was able to totally... You look at the team that started the Champions League final for them, the second one, the one that they won, versus the first ever starting 11 that Klopp took over. It's night and day different. Recruitment is the most important thing. Rob says, how long will it take Ten Hag to get the squad where he wants, and can we expect a similar transition that Klopp had? Klopp came 8th, I believe twice, and then I think 5th. No, you will not get that at United. You will not get a chance to come 8th, and 5th. He's going to have to perform at a higher level with that, whilst undertaking a similar sort of recovery for the club and a refreshing of the club. David Briscoe says people need to be careful not to expect to win the league now right away. Oh my God, 100%. We will not win the league next year. We will be several years away from winning this still. Thoughts on McLaren? He's probably my least favourite Dutch coach. Steve McLaren. CTB says, what do I think about Keane's Leopards don't change their spot? This lot will throw the manager on the bus just like the last one. The comment still stands. That was about 2 managers ago, wasn't it? Of course it does, yeah. There's too many people, far too many people at this football club that have just been allowed to just toss it off. And they're given chance after chance after chance after chance. Fuck them. You want to play for Manchester United? Prove it and take it with both hands. The second that you fucking wobble, you're out the bastard door. Think back to how ruthless Sir Alex Ferguson was. David Beckham took his eye off the ball, arguably, maybe not. In Sir Alex Ferguson's opinion, David Beckham took his eye off the ball and got fucked off with a quickness. He played at the top level for another 10 years. 10 years! He was like, nah, the fuck out. Jose says, thoughts on Ajax trying to loan Henderson? Could this be the end of De Gea? How, if Ajax loan Henderson, could it be the end of De Gea? Jamie Jackson's just reported McLaren has agreed to be number 2, says Ranabir. Let's have a fucking look, mate. Just opening up his Twitter and let's see if that's what's being said or if I've just been played. It says Ten Hag confident of United appointment after more talks. Is it going to make me click it? Ten Hag wants Steve McLaren as his assistant if appointed. Here's what I know. A bit like Rene, Steve McLaren was not a great manager. He was a shit manager for England. Terrible manager for England. However, Steve McLaren was supposedly one of the best on the pitch assistant coaches Manchester United have ever had. Dave Gardner says promote Laird, Mengi, Garner, Hannibal, McNeil, Garnacho, sign Chumene, Timber, Darwin or Oshiman at least. How good did Nunes look last night? Anthony says, Steve, 3 things need to happen for success. 1, Ten Hag gets it right. 2, we get recruitment right. And 3, we have a youth revolution of the first team. I agree. Notch says treble McLaren. I can't get over that shit Dutch accent though. Steve, I hope they fucking hammer him for it. Wonder if he's still got his Dutch accent. Especially if he's sitting and having like breakfast and that with Rene and with Ten Hag and Ten Hag's, is it Van der Greet, his current assistant that I'll be bringing with him. Fucking funny would it be if he just starts talking like that. A lot of people saying like, what does this mean for Donny van de Beek? Fuck knows. The truth very much could be that he can't cut it in the Premier League. Now, I believe he will get the opportunity under Ten Hag, which many people would argue he never got. But I'll tell you this for free, if he does not get the opportunity under Ten Hag, if Ten Hag comes in and is like, yeah, anyway, and just plays other midfielders, signs other midfielders, and Donny van der Beek does not get a chance under Ten Hag, can we put that one to bed then? That he ain't doing it. Apparently Benzema has scored a screamer. Situation normal. We need to manage our transfer budget and buy smart players instead of statement purchase, says NTZ VTI. 100%. 100%. That's what the point I was sort of making about Liverpool with Klopp. They did transfer or transform the 11, but they didn't do it until those last, with Van Dijk and with Becker, they did go bananas in terms of the prices, but they managed to get the rest of the squad assembled for good value. That's what United need to go to, looking at players that are going to bring in for good value. Notch says, hopefully starts with players like Tinder. Yes. They got Milner on a free in 2016. He's still there. Didn't start the final, did he? Either way, the point still stands out. Basically, it was like 10 new players. You can have one player. He was there in Klopp's first season, I think. Who do I think's Ten Hag's top transfer target for next season? Well, we're going to start looking into these. And like Ben Archer says, he needs the freedom to be ruthless, and we will see. Lee New there says Coutinho changed the game for Klopp. We don't have anyone who could currently command that fee. How true is Pep wanting Ten Hag? Well, he worked with him. I mean, that's all I know. He's done well since. I imagine that's means it's a very. Put it this way: if it's a lie, it's a believable one, isn't it? Do I think James Garner will be a first teamer next season? Squad, yes. Starter, no. Chance of Van Nistelrooy joining too. Not now he has signed as permanent first-team manager at PSV. Mankey says if gets what he wants in terms of staff, what can we expect next season? The staff is only one half of the coin. Maybe not even a full half of a coin. The players are the most important thing. Harper says, did Paddock get promoted? It's an application thing. Wait out on that one, and I will announce in due course. We have got an application in for a different level. Do I think Ajax will insert a clause that he can't sign players? No, I don't think so. Liam says, I hope that Ralph has a big role in helping rebuild the club despite Ten Hag coming in. Me too. I really, I was speaking about Rangnick a fair bit this year, mostly because the initial rumours was that he was going to Newcastle, and I was a bit panicked because I was like, Jesus, that means they know what they're doing. And I thought that meant that they were going to go on an absolute tear. Now, they've done all right. They had definitely done all right. But I worried if they got Rangnick. And I think Rangnick has done all right at United. The results haven't been there. But I don't necessarily think that's his problem. I don't necessarily look at Ralph Rangnick and go, that's your fucking fault. I'm looking at the players and going, you lot aren't fucking good enough, man. So I would like to see what we can progress with Rangnick in charge and see where it takes us. But I hope it's true more than anything else about Rene. Like I said, his book is sensational. If you've not got it, even if you're just a fan of United, that's a good book to read. It tells you a lot of what happened behind the scenes. If you're a coach, you just need to fucking get it. Go and watch the interview me and Jay did with him a couple of years ago. Just search Rene Meulensteen, Trevor Paddock, and you'll find it. It's fucking mint. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Go and enjoy the Champions League games. We'll be back again with another video in the morning. I'm just excited. Hopefully this means that we can finish the season with a little bit of a high, because it looked like it was going to fucking career into the fucking woods, didn't it? But I'm excited. I'm hopeful that United have done the right thing in terms of appointing an actual football manager rather than a name like Pochettino. And I hope he gets given what he wants. Whether that's Steve McLaren, whether that's Rene Meulensteen, I think having someone that does know the club is beneficial, despite the fact that this has got some weird reputation now. I don't agree with that. I'm excited. I think Rene could bring a hell of a lot. I still think he's one of the top technical coaches in the game. He knows the standards expected at Manchester United. I think we opened with this when we had him on the podcast. We were Drogba's offside goal and Aguero shinning it into the crowd away from Rene being part of the coaching staff that would have won 7 titles consecutively. That was it. That's how close it was for us. An offside Drogba goal, given correctly, and Aguero shinning it into the crowd. Oh, United getting the fucking penalty that we should have had, or not bottling it against Everton away from 7 fucking titles. That's how fucking good United were when Rene Meulensteen was at the club. So, you need the players as well. You need a good manager. But for me, this could be a fucking sensational appointment. I'm excited. Right, take it easy. Enjoy the games. I'm back tomorrow in a bit.